All right, so we're diving into personal branding for introverts. And, with all the AI stuff going around, this should be interesting. Basically, we've got this outline for a podcast episode all about how introverts can stand out online. But get this, it's not about trying to be someone you're not, It's about using AI to, work with your strengths as an introvert.
Yeah, the cool thing is this source kind of flips the script. Instead of introverts trying to be all extroverted online, it's more about realizing that those introverted traits, thinking deeply, analyzing stuff, going deep on a topic, those are actually huge pluses for personal branding.
Okay, I see what you mean. So we know introverts are great at deep dives and all that, but how does that help build a brand online?
Well, think about it. In a world where there's just content everywhere, people are really looking for realness, real expertise. They want more than just flashy stuff and surface level takes. They want substance, thought leadership, and introverts are awesome at that. It's not about forcing yourself to be super social or putting out content all the time. It's about using what you're good at to create something really valuable.
So instead of shouting to get noticed, you're drawing people in with in-depth knowledge and a thoughtful perspective.
Exactly. And that's where AI comes in, not to replace you, but as a partner. Imagine AI handling stuff like scheduling your posts, looking at audience data, even helping you come up with content ideas or making your writing better. It frees you up to focus on what you do best, right? The thinking and creative stuff.
Makes sense. I've actually been messing around with ChatGPT for some of my writing, and it's surprisingly useful. I give it prompts like make a blog post outline about how being introverted is good for personal branding, or write a caption for social media about using AI for content, and it gives me a solid starting point.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of AI being a thought partner. It's not about letting it do everything, but more like using it to get ideas. Or if you're stuck writing, or even just to get a different view on your work.
And the source also talks about Canva AI for visuals. Gotta admit, as someone who's not a design person, that sounds pretty good.
Oh yeah. Canva AI can be a game changer, especially for introverts who maybe don't have the time or energy for complicated design software. It can help you make professional-looking graphics for your blog, social media, even presentations or ebooks, and you don't have to start from nothing. You just put in some basic info about what you want, and Canva AI suggests layouts, colors, fonts that all work together.
So it's like having a design assistant who gets your style and helps you make visuals that fit your brand.
Exactly. And if you're an introvert who doesn't like putting themselves out there, Canva AI even lets you use avatars or illustrations instead of your own photos. Could be a huge relief for some people.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's about being comfortable and real online, which I think can be tough for introverts.
Totally. And the source goes beyond just making content. It talks about AI for things like scheduling posts and analyzing audience data, which can save so much time and let you focus on the parts of personal branding you actually enjoy.
Now about platforms, the source seems to favor the ones that fit that introverted communication style. They mention places like LinkedIn, Medium, personal blogs. They even talk about YouTube and podcasts, but with some AI tweaks.
The interesting thing about these platforms is they cater to a different kind of online interaction. LinkedIn and Medium, they're known for thought leadership and in-depth content. It's not about chasing trends or going viral. It's about giving real insights and connecting with people who actually care about what you're saying.
So it's less about being the loudest voice and more about creating a space for learning and engaging with your expertise on a deeper level.
Exactly. And personal blogs give you even more control. You pick your content, set your pace, build a community around your unique view, all without the algorithms or the pressure to always be on social media.
I've always loved the idea of a blog, but I've always been kind of intimidated by all the technical stuff. Feels like you need to know a lot about web design and coding to even get started.
That's a common thought, but honestly, there are so many easy-to-use platforms and AI tools now that make blogging super accessible, even if you're not techie. You can literally set up a blog in minutes and start sharing your thoughts with everyone.
That's good to know. And AI could probably help with things like SEO, keyword research, even coming up with content ideas, especially when you're just starting out.
Absolutely. AI can be so helpful for every part of blogging, from setting up your website to promoting your content and engaging with your audience. It's like having a whole team of experts working for you.
Okay, this is all making sense. But what about YouTube and podcasts? They seem like they need a lot of putting yourself out there, which doesn't exactly scream introvert-friendly.
That's fair. But the source says that AI is actually making these platforms more accessible for introverts. Like, you could use AI to create animated videos or slideshows for YouTube so you don't have to be on camera. And for podcasts, AI can help with editing the audio, reducing noise, even transcribing. Makes the whole production process a lot smoother.
So even if you don't like being the face of your brand, you can still use video and audio content thanks to AI.
Exactly. AI lets you make engaging content in a way that feels right for you. And the cool thing about YouTube and podcasts is that they often get a more engaged audience, people who are looking for in-depth content and real conversations.
This is all fascinating. So we've talked about introverted strengths, AI as a partner, and some good platforms. But what about actually making the content? Does the source have any specific tips for introverts who might feel stuck or intimidated by that process?
That's a great question. And yes, the source goes into some practical content creation strategies that are perfect for introverts. But before we get into that, I think we need to talk about one of the biggest challenges introverts face with personal branding.
Okay, I'm listening. What is it?
It's confidence. Putting yourself out there online, sharing your ideas, building a brand, it can feel really vulnerable, especially for introverts who might not be naturally comfortable with self-promotion or being in the spotlight.
I get that. It's so easy to compare yourself to others and feel like you're not good enough or that your voice doesn't matter.
Totally. And the source is real about those feelings. It doesn't pretend it's easy, but it gives some really good advice for overcoming those confidence hurdles.
Okay, so tell me more. What does the source say about building confidence as an introvert?
Well, the biggest thing is starting small. You don't have to do everything at once or try to be perfect right away. It's about taking steps that feel okay for you and gradually getting more confident over time.
So like instead of launching a whole YouTube channel, you start with a few short videos for social media. Or instead of writing a huge ebook, you start with a few blog posts about something you love.
Exactly. It's about finding your pace and building momentum slowly. And the source also says it's important to play to your strengths. What are you naturally good at? What do you like doing? Focus on those things and let AI handle the rest.
So instead of trying to be someone you're not, you focus on what comes naturally and let AI make those strengths even stronger. I like that. What else does the source say?
Another important thing is to see AI as your support system, not your competition. It's not about letting AI take over, it's about using it to help you be more confident and real online.
Like having a virtual coach or cheerleader, someone who helps you overcome your fears, refine your message, and reach more people, but without having to change your introverted nature.
Exactly, and the source uses this great analogy. Imagine AI as noise-canceling headphones. It helps you block out the distractions and self-doubt so you can focus on being creative and connect with your audience on a deeper level.
I love that. It really gets to the heart of how AI can help introverts succeed online. All right, before we move on, let's talk about something we touched on earlier, choosing the right platform.
Ah, yes, this is where things get strategic. The source doesn't just list a bunch of platforms and leave you hanging. It actually gives recommendations specifically for introverts based on their strengths, interests, and goals.
Okay, so break it down for me. What platforms do they recommend and why would they be good for introverts?
Well, first off, they stress that introverts don't need to be on every single platform. It's about picking the ones that best fit your personal brand and how comfortable you are. They particularly like LinkedIn.
LinkedIn makes sense. From my experience, it values thoughtful insights and professional expertise, which are perfect for introverts.
Exactly. It's a place to show off your knowledge, connect with similar people, and build a reputation as an expert in your field. And the best part about LinkedIn is that it's not all about flashy stuff and constantly promoting yourself. It's more about making real connections and sharing useful information.
They also mention Medium, which seems perfect for introverts who enjoy writing and exploring complex topics.
Absolutely. Medium is all about long-form, thought-provoking content. You can really dive deep into a subject and share your unique perspective without having to make it short and catchy.
And I bet the community on Medium is more open to in-depth articles and nuanced discussions than, say, the fast-paced world of Twitter or TikTok.
You got it. Medium attracts people who genuinely want to learn and engage with different ideas. It's not about going viral or getting likes. It's about connecting with people who appreciate thoughtful content and smart analysis.
Now, what about personal blogs? Are they still relevant with all the social media out there?
The source says blogs are still valuable, especially for introverts who want full control over their content and online presence.
I can see that. With a blog, you're not at the mercy of algorithms or trends. You can be yourself and build a community on your own terms.
Exactly. And with AI tools for content creation, SEO, even email marketing, you can build a successful blog that attracts loyal readers and establishes you as an expert in your niche.
They also mention YouTube and podcasts, which seems a little counterintuitive for introverts, but they make some interesting points.
Right. The source knows those platforms can be intimidating for introverts who don't like being in the spotlight, but they emphasize how AI can make them easier to use and less scary.
So, for example, an introvert could use AI to make animated videos or slideshows for YouTube instead of being on camera. Or they could use AI to edit and improve their podcast audio to sound more professional.
Precisely. AI takes away a lot of the pressure of having to be on all the time or worrying about live interactions. It lets introverts share their expertise and connect with their audience in ways that feel comfortable and genuine.
Wow, this is encouraging. It seems like there are so many possibilities for introverts who want to build a personal brand, especially with AI.
It's a great time to be an introvert online. The old rules are changing and introverts are finding new and awesome ways to shine.
This is all so fascinating, but let's pause here for a moment. We'll be right back to dig into more insights from the source and look at some specific strategies for using AI to create content that really connects with your audience. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. So before the break, we were talking about how AI can help introverts with platforms like YouTube and podcasts.
Yeah, and as someone who's always listening to podcasts, I'd love to hear more about how introverts can use AI to make that work for them.
It's all about using the good parts of podcasting without, pushing yourself too far. For example, the source mentions that introverts are often really good at long conversations and going deep into topics, which is, perfect for podcasts.
That makes sense. Some of my favorite podcasts are definitely hosted by people who are clearly passionate about their niche, and they love getting into the details. It feels like you're learning from a friend who really knows their stuff.
Exactly. And that's where introverts can really shine. You don't need to be super charismatic or have a fancy studio. You just need to be interested in your topic and be willing to share what you know in a way that's engaging and informative.
So let's say I'm an introvert who's, really into ancient history. Could I actually start a podcast about that, even if I'm not comfortable being in the spotlight?
Oh, totally. And AI can be a huge help with some of the technical stuff that might seem intimidating. You can use AI transcription tools to turn your recordings into text. And then you can use that text for show notes, blog posts, social media updates, even subtitles for your podcast.
Right. So you're basically creating multiple pieces of content from just one recording, which can really help you reach more people.
Exactly. And AI can also help with editing the audio, getting rid of noise, even creating intro and outro music. So your podcast can sound really professional without you needing to be an audio engineer.
So even if you're not a tech person or a natural performer, AI can help you make a high-quality podcast. That really shows off your passion and what you know.
Exactly. It's all about finding the right tools and strategies to support how you like to work and make the process fun and fulfilling.
This is great. So it seems like AI can help introverts not only create content, but also make money from their knowledge and skills.
Yeah.
Does the source talk about any specific ways introverts can make money from their content?
Yeah, for sure. The source points out a few ways to make money that are really good for introverts, especially those who aren't comfortable with typical marketing or being in the spotlight all the time. One popular option is making and selling online courses.
Online courses do seem like a good fit for introverts. You can create the content at your own pace, in your own space, and then share it without being on camera or teaching live.
Right. And there are AI tools that can help you with every part of that. From planning your course to making engaging video lessons, it's like having a teaching assistant who's always there to guide you and make it less overwhelming.
The source also mentions consulting, which makes sense. It lets you have those deeper one-on-one interactions with clients, which I think a lot of introverts would prefer.
Consulting is a great way to use your expertise to help people or businesses directly. And you can often do it remotely, so you can set your own boundaries and decide how much interaction you're comfortable with.
And then there are ebooks. I love the idea of creating a detailed guide or resource that people can download and learn from. It really plays to that introverted strength of diving deep into a subject.
Ebooks are a fantastic way to package your knowledge into something tangible. And the best part is once you create it, it can keep making you money passively as people buy and download it.
Okay, so we've got online courses, consulting, ebooks. Are there any other ways to make money that the source mentions for introverts?
Yeah, they also talk about affiliate marketing. It's a good option for introverts who are really into specific products or services. Basically, you team up with a company and promote their stuff to your audience. And if someone buys something through your special link, you get a commission.
That seems like a pretty low-key way to make money from your content. You're not directly selling anything, but you're suggesting products or services that you actually like, and getting paid for sharing those suggestions with your audience.
Exactly. And the key is to be honest and real with your audience. Don't just promote anything and everything. Focus on things you actually use and love, and that you think would be helpful for your audience.
So it's about trust and credibility, right? You're not just trying to make a quick buck. You're trying to help people by recommending stuff you believe in.
Exactly. And that's why affiliate marketing can work so well for introverts. You're using your knowledge and your passion to make money in a way that feels genuine and fits your values.
This is all really inspiring. It feels like introverts have so many options for building a personal brand and sharing their unique talents. But before we get too excited, let's go back to something we talked about earlier. Starting small. I think that's really important for introverts who might feel overwhelmed by the whole idea of building a personal brand.
You're right, the source really stresses that you don't have to do everything at once. You can pick one platform, one type of content, one way to make money, and focus on that. It's about taking small steps that you're comfortable with and slowly building your confidence.
So you could start by writing blog posts about something you're passionate about, or making a few short videos to share on social media, or even just trying out some AI tools to help you create content more easily.
Exactly. As you get more experience and confidence, you can start doing more. Try new types of content and explore different ways to make money. It's about finding what works for you and building a personal brand that feels authentic and sustainable.
And remember, AI is there to help you every step of the way. It can help you overcome those challenges that might seem scary and let you focus on your strengths and build a brand that truly represents who you are. This has been such a helpful conversation. I feel like I have a much better understanding of how introverts can use their strengths in AI to create a successful and fulfilling online presence.
Me too. It's really exciting to see how AI is changing things for introverts and giving them the power to share their unique voices with the world. But we're not done yet. There's still more to explore in the source material.
You're right. Let's take a quick break and then we'll come back to dive into some specific content creation strategies that are perfect for the introverted approach. We'll also talk about how to use AI to not only create content, but also understand your audience and improve your message over time. Stay tuned. We're back, ready to finish up our deep dive into personal branding for introverts with AI. This has been pretty fascinating, right?
Yeah, definitely. We've talked about a lot, introverted strengths, different platforms, how to make money from your content. But I think one of the biggest takeaways is that AI isn't here to replace us. It's here to help us, you know?
Exactly. And that brings us to a big part of personal branding, creating content. For introverts, this can sometimes feel kind of tough. But the source has some really good advice on how to approach it in a way that feels real and manageable.
Yeah, one of the key things they talk about is batch creation. It's about setting aside specific times to just focus on making content, instead of trying to do it in between other things or constantly switching tasks.
That makes sense. I know I do my best work when I can really get into something and focus. Trying to create content randomly or in short bursts just feels all over the place and tiring.
Right. And batch creation lets you tap into that deep focus and creative energy that introverts are so good at. You can plan your content, get your stuff together, and then just dive in and create a bunch of stuff at once.
So instead of feeling like you're always trying to come up with new ideas or meet deadlines, you can be more organized and intentional about creating content.
Exactly. And AI can be a big help here. Like, you can use AI writing tools to make outlines, come up with ideas, or even write whole pieces of content, which can save you tons of time and energy.
That's amazing. It's like having a writing partner who can get your creativity going and help you if you get stuck.
Exactly. And the source also talks about quality over quantity. It's not about making as much content as you can. It's about making content that's actually good, something that's valuable, insightful, and interesting for your audience.
So instead of feeling like you have to post on social media or write new blog articles every single day, you can focus on making a few really good pieces that your audience will love.
Exactly. And AI can help you make sure your content is well-written, polished, and shows up in search engines, which can help more people find it.
Now, another tip the source gives is about using avatars instead of your own photos, which I think could be great for introverts who don't love putting themselves out there.
Absolutely. Avatars can be a fun way to show yourself online without using your real picture. They can be creative, even a little quirky, which can help you stand out and be more memorable.
I've seen a lot of introverts using avatars online, and it definitely adds a unique touch. It's like you're letting people into your world without having to show everything about yourself.
Exactly. And AI avatar generators are getting really good. You can make a custom avatar that shows your personality and style. You can choose different features, hairstyles, clothes, even add accessories to make it really unique.
So even if you're not comfortable being the face of your brand, you can still have a strong visual presence that feels real and engaging.
Exactly. It's all about being creative and connecting with your audience in a deeper way.
Okay, so we've talked about batch creation, quality over quantity, and using avatars. Any other content creation tips from the source that could be helpful for introverts?
Yeah, they say it's important to focus on what you're good at and what you're passionate about. What are you naturally talented at? What topics do you love talking about? What you know that you think other people would find valuable?
That's so important. It's easy to get caught up in trying to create what you think will be popular, but the best content comes from people who are truly passionate about what they're sharing.
Exactly. And that passion will show in your content and connect with your audience. It's not about pretending to be someone else. It's about sharing your unique perspective and knowledge in a way that feels real and engaging.
So if you're an introvert who loves research and writing, maybe you start a blog or write in-depth articles on Medium. Or if you're really into a specific hobby or skill, maybe you make video tutorials or start a podcast to share what you know.
Exactly. It's all about finding your niche and making content that you enjoy and are good at.
You know, as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm really struck by how much the source focuses on being authentic and knowing yourself. It's not about fitting in or following a formula. It's about being yourself and using AI to make your voice and perspective even stronger.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this approach to personal branding so great for introverts. It's not about trying to change who you are. It's about using your natural strengths and working with AI to create a successful and fulfilling online presence.
I couldn't agree more. Well, that about wraps up this episode of The Deep Dive. I hope this has been helpful and inspiring for you, our listener. Remember, the key takeaways are to embrace your introversion, use AI as your partner, and focus on creating authentic, valuable content that reflects your passions and expertise.
And don't forget to have fun. Building your personal brand should be enjoyable and fulfilling, not stressful or overwhelming.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into personal branding for introverts with AI. See you next time.